world knew Jeon Jungkook as the golden Maknae of BTS. A superstar whose voice could move millions, whose dance moves were pure art, and whose face was, quite literally, a work of art plastered on billboards across the globe. But the man sitting in the silent, opulent penthouse, staring out at the Seoul skyline, felt like a ghost in his own life. JK. Hyung, it's exhausting, Jin. What is? The fame, the money, the fact that you could probably buy a small island with what you make in a week. JK. No, the performance of it all. How can I ever know if someone loves me? Not Junkook of BTS. Not the idol, just me, the guy who likes to game too much and sometimes burns his ramyun. Jin. Ah, the classic do they love me or my fame dilemma. A tale as old as time, or at least as old as K-pop. JK. It's not a joke, Hyung Jin. I know, JK. I know. But what's the alternative? You want to go live in a hut in the mountains and hope a beautiful, kind-hearted woodcutter's daughter stumbles upon you. JK. Not a hut, but something like that. I have a plan A/N. When Junkook outlined his plan, Jin choked on his water. Jin. You want to do what, JK? I'm going to pretend to be blind. Jin. Jeon Jungkook. That is the most ridiculous, dramatic, and frankly, unhinged idea you have ever had. And I've seen you try to build a Lego Death Star in one sitting. JK. Think about it, Hyung. If I'm blind, the superficial things don't matter. They can't be swayed by my face or my fame. They have to see me, my personality, my heart. It's the only way to find someone genuine. Someone who isn't performing for me. 2A/N. Jin looked at his dancing, seeing the genuine desperation behind the crazy scheme. He sighed, knowing he was already defeated. Jin. Fine. Fine. But if this blows up in your face, and it will, I get to say, I told you so for the next decade. And what about the company? Your schedule, JK. I've already spoken to Bang PDNim and the others. They think I'm taking an extended, secret break for mental health after a mysterious eye injury. Only you, RM Hyung, and my head manager know the truth. A/N. And so, the elaborate ruse began. Y/N smoothed down her simple, professional dress and took a deep breath. The job listing had been unusual. A personal assistant and companion for a reclusive, visually impaired gentleman named Jeon Jihun. The salary was astronomical, but the requirements were specific. Kindness, patience, and discretion. Above all else, she needed this job. Desperately, the door was opened by a stern-looking man. A/N. Kim Namjoon, the family's representative. Namjoon. Mr. Jeon is delicate. His world has become very small. Your role is not just to assist him, but to be a presence. He doesn't need pity. He needs normalcy. Y/N. I understand. A/N. She was led into a spacious, minimalist living room. And there, sitting on a large sofa, was the most beautiful man she had ever seen. Namjoon. Jihun SSI. This is Y/N. She's here for the interview. JK. Thank you for coming. Y/NSSIY/N. The pleasure is mine. Jeon SSIA/N. The interview proceeded. Junkook, as Jeon, asked her about her interests, her family, what she thought true strength was. JK, tell me about your family. Y/NSSIY/N. Well, it's just my mother and me. She was recently ill, which is why Well, that's why I'm looking for a stable position like this. JK. And what do you do for fun when you're not taking care of your mother or interviewing for jobs? Y/N. I paint. It's my escape. Just simple watercolors, mostly. Landscapes from my imagination. A/N. Later, after she left, Namjoon turned to him. Namjoon. Well, JK, she's the one. Hire her. Y/N. Jeon SSI, I've arranged your books by the Braille code you prefer. The new ones are on the left. JK, you're very efficient. Y/N. Thank you. Y/N. The sky is a beautiful shade of orange tonight. It looks like the world is on fire, but in a soft, gentle way. JK, I wish I could see it. But your description is beautiful. I can almost picture it. A/N. Weeks passed. The connection between them grew deep and real, built in the quiet moments. Y/N. And then my mother, she tried to make kimchi stew for the first time and used sugar instead of salt. The entire pot was ruined. JK, laughing, no, she didn't. Y/N. She did. We had to order pizza. She was so embarrassed. JK, I think I would have liked to be there. Y/N. I think you would have to. Y/N. Jeon SSI, it's time to change for your physiotherapy appointment. I've laid out fresh clothes for you on the bed. JK, thank you. Y/N. Could you help me? I'm feeling a bit disoriented today. Y/N. Of course. Whatever you need. A/N. Her fingers accidentally brushed against the warm, firm skin of his stomach. Y/N. Flustered, sorry, JK. It's okay. A/N. As she pulled the sweater over his head, her face was now level with his bare chest. A/N. Oh God. He was sculpted. Y/N. Whispering, now for your pants. A/N. As she pulled the sweats down, her eyes widened. He was wearing only simple black boxer briefs underneath. A/N. Junkook stood perfectly still, but internally, he was a storm. He watched her through his carefully hooded eyes. JK. Internal thought, she's blushing. She's so beautiful. Y/N. Internal thought, I'm imagining it. He can't see me. He can't. Y/N. Voice an octave higher, all done. JK. Thank you. Y/N. You're very kind to me. Y/N. This is nice, but I've always been more of a BTS fan. JK. Choking slightly. Oh. Y/N. Yeah, especially Junkook. His voice is. It feels like home, you know. It's a pity what happened to him. JK. What? What happened to him? Y/N. You know, his eye injury. It was all over the news. He had to take a break. I hope he's okay. He seems like such a sweet person. JK. Y/N. If you met him. Junkook, what would you say? Y/N. Oh, I'd probably be too nervous to say anything. But if I could, I'd just thank him. His music helped me through some very dark times when my mother was sick. It felt like a friend was there with me A/N. The breaking point came a week later. Y/N was in the kitchen, trying to reach a high shelf for a vase Y/N. A/N. In a blur of movement, Jeon was there. His arm shot out, his hand catching the vase effortlessly Y/N. Whispering in shock, You're not blind, JK, Y/N. I can explain Y/N. All this time you've been watching me, letting me change you, guide you. Who are you, JK? My name is Jeon Jungkook Y/N. No, this is a joke. A cruel, twisted joke, JK. It's not a joke. Please, let me explain. I was so tired of not knowing if people liked me for me. I just wanted to find someone real Y/N. And you thought the best way to do that was to lie, to manipulate me, to make a fool out of me. Was I just an experiment for you, Junkook SSI? Was my honesty just entertainment for the great superstar JK? No, it was never like that. What I feel for you is real. Everything that happened between us, the conversations, the laughter, that was real. I fell in love with you. Y/N, the real you Y/N. Don't you dare say that. You don't know what love is. Love is built on trust, and you started ours with the biggest lie imaginable A/N. She turned and ran, the sound of his desperate pleas echoing behind her, JK. Y/N. Wait, please, A/N. A week later, there was a knock on her small apartment door. It was Kim Seokjin and Kim Namjoon Jin, Y/NSSI. Please, we just want to talk. For Junkook Jin, he's a mess. He hasn't eaten. He doesn't sleep. He just sits in that dark apartment, listening to the recordings of you reading to him Y/N. That's not my problem, Namjoon. Please. What he did was wrong. There are no excuses for it, but his intention, however misguided, came from a place of profound loneliness. The world sees him as a product, an idol. He just wanted someone to see him as a person. He chose a terrible way to find it, but he found it in Y/N. He lied to me, Jin. He did. And he will spend the rest of his life regretting it. But the man you knew as Jeon, that was Junkook, the real Junkook, the man who loves your laugh, who thinks your passion for painting is the most beautiful thing in the world. That part was never a lie, Namjoon. He asked me to give you this. He said you don't have to read it. You don't have to ever see him again. But he wanted you to have the truth, the whole truth A/N. With trembling hands, Y/N opened the envelope. It was a long, handwritten letter, my dearest Y/N. I love you, Y/N. I'm so sorry, yours, always, Junkook A/N. Another week passed. The intercom in Jungkook's new apartment buzzed, JK. Yes, Y/N. Through the intercom, Jeon SSI. It's Y/NI. I think I left my favorite book at your place A/N. Jungkook's heart stopped. He practically flew to the front door, yanking it open, JK. Y/NY/N. Your letter. I read it 100 times, JK, whispering, and Y/N. It doesn't fix what you did. The trust, it's broken. It will take a long, long time to rebuild, JK. I know Y/N. But the man who wrote that letter, I believe him. And I miss him, Y/N. I'm not ready to forgive you yet, Junkook. But I'm willing to try. Not with Jeon, not with the idol, but with you. The man who is brave enough to be vulnerable and stupid enough to pretend to be blind for love, JK, sobbing and laughing, I love you, Y/N. I know. Now, are you going to ask me in, or are we just going to stand in the hallway all day, JK? Laughing, come in. Please, come in, A/N. He pulled her gently into his apartment, into his world, into his heart. The door closed, not on an ending, but on a new, honest beginning. He was finally, truly seen. And he was loved, A/N. And there we have it, a story that started with a lie and ended with the most profound truth. Love isn't about perfection. It's about finding someone whose chaos matches yours. Junkook found his true love not by pretending to be someone he wasn't, but by finally being brave enough to be himself. And you, my dear reader, deserve a love that is just as real. Never settle for anything less.